Oh, yeah. Hello, friends. Welcome to all you artists, writers, musicians. This has been a wild week, and these are my weekly videos. I've dedicated the next basically 4 years of my life to my creative pursuits. I'm writing a novel. I'm always making music, and I'm making fractals. We're going to talk about a lot of this stuff, but this week was crazy because I got on a tear creating fractals. In one night, I created almost 100 fractals. I'm going to share a few with you. And also song title ideas. They've been coming. A flood has been coming as well. So we'll talk about that. But let me know where you are on your creative journey in the comments. And and I was also floored by this quote from a YouTube video, which I'm going to share. The quote is amazing. It really made me feel better about my writing and my story because I'm a first-time author, and I mean, I've written nonfiction, but I have not written fiction yet. So anyway, I'll share that later. But yeah, my fractals, I sat down, I think it was 2 nights ago to make some fractals. Yeah, it was Monday night around 8:30 p.m., and I was just going to make some fractals. I have on my old phone, I have the Fractal app, and I just relax and make fractals, and it's really good. But I got on this hot streak. Sometimes I'll come across a fractal and I'll be able to get a bunch of images from one sort of formula, one design. And so that's what I did, and it just kept flowing, and I was just saving all these fractals. It was great. They were coming really fast. 2.5 hours I spent making fractals, and even my hand got tired holding the phone in a certain way, but it was great. I probably got about 6 or 8 keepers, meaning 6 to 8 fractals that are really awesome. I'm going to show you. It just felt great. So let me show you some of these fractals. Here you go. Here's one of them. And now fractals are very subjective, obviously. So you might see some of these and be like, oh, I don't care about that, or I don't understand that, or it doesn't hit you at all. That's fine. Some people say they're not into fractal art, but you have to look deeper into it. So this is one. This is another one. You see anything in that image in the middle? Yeah, it looks like a skull, right? Anyway, that's pretty cool. Oh, that's from the thumbnail too. The thumbnail of this video is with this. So here's another one. Pretty interesting, the dimensions. This one is great. I don't know why, but it's just so cool. It looks like sort of like the top of a rocket, but there's some sort of a glow or like a spotlight. I don't know. What do you think? This one is pretty interesting, I thought. And then this one looked like the master is meditating, right? And this one's pretty interesting. And yeah, so those are some of my fractals. Like I said, I got about 6 to 8 that are pretty cool, I thought. And yeah, and so recognizing these hot streaks is an interesting topic, because whatever art you do, there are times when you get in that flow, right? You get in a flow and everything flows and you just keep going. And so when you get in a flow, it's easy. And what happened with me this Monday when I was making the fractals is probably about the last 10 to 15 minutes, I didn't get one new fractal. I just kept looking and changing I kept doing what I do, looking for new fractal images, and nothing I got was inspiring me at all. So after like 5 or 10 minutes, or maybe even a little more, I was like, all right, this is a cold streak now, and I'm done, because I've already done 2.5 hours. I got so many fractals. So I'm sure that happens with you in your field. But to me, the hot streak is easy. You just get into a hot streak and everything flows and it's great. You don't have to think about it. But sort of noticing the cold streak but we notice, right? Because after a while, you're like, man, what's going on? And then, but if you're attentive to that feeling, then you can sort of basically stop when you hit a considerable cold streak. Now, I'm not talking about a cold streak or you don't feel inspired when you first start working. Like when I sit down to make fractals, or when you sit down to make a painting or anything, a song. A lot of times the first 5 to 10 minutes or 15 minutes, that can feel like there's no inspiration coming. It feels a little like a cold streak, but that's just, you got to get that rolling. You got to get into it, and then the flow happens, right? I'm not talking about at the beginning, that little, it's not even a cold streak. It's just like you're sort of getting into it. I'm not talking about that at the beginning. I'm talking about at the end, after a hot streak, after a flow, then you get into like a cold streak, and then you can notice that and then basically stop. So yeah, so the next topic is these song titles. They keep coming to me, and they come from everywhere. Now, song titles are important if you're writing songs, because a good title can inspire an entire song. For real. And so as songwriters, and if you're a songwriter, you know this, or maybe even if you're an artist and you name your work, you get ideas for names, and you have to write them down, right? You have to keep track of them. And I do. And I have in my Evernote, I have a whole, song lyrics and potential titles. It's like a tag. So over the past probably month, I started getting a lot more song title ideas, and I'm just writing them down. And I mean, I may never use them. Most of them I will never use. And most of them maybe aren't even that good. So for instance, let me show you some of the song titles that have been hitting me here. 2 Hugs Goodbye. That might be the best one. That might be the best idea. 2 Hugs Goodbye. You can sort of picture a little story in your head, right? Then you have Unlike the Rest. What do you mean? What do you mean? That's just a funny line from like my childhood. I don't know. Passer. That's interesting because of chess and also different things, and also Stick No Bills. That's a weird one I just saw, on a wall where you're not supposed to put billboards, and so I wrote that down. So again, these aren't all great. I think 2 Hugs Goodbye is probably pretty good, but you just have to write down song titles. And real world situations, and being attentive to the real world. And the biggest way I get potential song titles is from listening to things that other people say. Because when people talk, in normal life, they just talk, and you just listen to them talk, and they'll use like little phrases or a little description of something. Like they'll just use a phrase or something that it just like, wow, that's cool. Like it's like an encapsulation of a good idea. So yeah, so I have some songwriting plans. Actually, today I'm going to go meet with my friend Bob, and we're going to have a songwriting session. It's been a while since him and I have done that. So that's going to be awesome. And yeah, collaboration is, for me, I love collaboration in songwriting and music specifically. Yeah, and also I have a neighbor who wants to get into songwriting. He's always wanted to do it, but he's never done it. And now he's finally like, okay, I got to do it. Because, if you're young, you're young. You can put things off when you're young. You can say, I'm interested in that, but I don't have time. But you get to like middle age, and the things that you really want to do, you don't want to push them off anymore, because it's like, I want to do this, and I don't know what the future holds. So like, anyway, that's my neighbor. He wants to get into songwriting. So hopefully I can maybe even start writing some songs with my neighbor. That'd be great. So yeah, so the combination here between a lot of fractals being made when I'm in that flow, and also a lot of song titles coming, like there's a creative momentum that can sort of happen, and sometimes it can cross over between mediums. You can get on a hot streak in one medium and go to another medium, and you might get in the same hot streak. So that flow state probably has more to do with you and me rather than the work, right? Or the ideas. I don't know. What do you think, right? This is some deep stuff. And so, yeah, so I'm still writing my novel. I'm doing great. I'm just so excited to finish it. I'm getting into the exciting part of finalizing the whole plot structure and the character arcs. But I saw this video, and this is it right here. We're not going to watch the video, but I will link to it below. It's called Stop Chasing Original Ideas. Here's what actually makes you creative, from a channel called Lo-Fi Cinema. You know, it's a little under 10 minutes, very good video. And the quote he says at the end puts everything into it. It put creativity into perspective for me, specifically for writing my novel, because I've never written a novel before. And I will read you the quote here. Maybe it's not about chasing the next great idea or inventing something no one's ever thought of. Maybe it's about making something no one else could have made because it came through you. And this immediately made me feel better, because with my novel, I'm trying to like come up with plot twists and character things, and like I'm trying to create literal, unique novel stuff, and it's hard. And I don't even know if I'm really doing that. That's sort of what I'm trying to do, right? But this quote really helped me understand that maybe I don't have to create something completely unique, like a story that's literally completely unique. Maybe I can just tell a story, because all stories have formats and flows and structures, right? And there are many proven story structures, right? And that's what they're proven because they work. They take the reader on a journey, and it all ends up well, and it's a good way to present a story. And so maybe instead of trying to reinvent the wheel or do something completely novel, I feel better about just doing what I can do, tell my story, use the tools I need, like good structures and good character arcs. And it might not be the most novel in the world, right? It might not be the most unique book ever written, but it's all going to come from me. So the story, all the details, it's my vision, it's my heart coming through. And so it made me realize that the structure is not as important as what's coming from my heart and what I'm putting into the story. And that just made me feel better. I don't know. What do you think? To me, I just feel better now. Now I feel like I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I don't have to create something, like Einstein and discovering relativity. Like I don't have to discover something completely new. I can tell a good story, but tell it from myself, and that'll be the value of it. Now, if other people value it, I don't know, right? If it's a good book, I don't know. I'll never be able to know until I publish it, and then people can buy it and read it or not, or like it or not, right? I don't know. But during the creation, I can put my authenticity into it. Yeah, so it's basically authenticity over originality. And I'm also trying to be original, don't get me wrong, with my character names and my, my weapons and my fantasy stuff. Like I am trying to be, I'm definitely being original, but I also want to be authentic. So yeah, so what are some takeaways? When creativity flows, lean into it completely. Pay attention to your own creative rhythms, recognize your hot streaks and ride them. And so what is your longest hot streak? You must have a good story of a time when you went on a tear. So put it in the comments. And like I said, I'll be making videos every week because I'm documenting my creative journey, and I'm trying to help other creative people. So if you're an author or an artist or a musician, say hello in the comments. And in the future, I want to start incorporating other artists and conversations, and because there's so much awesome independent art and music and writing that doesn't get enough attention, and I want to help give it attention. I want to create and do that. So that's it. So connect or subscribe, and I'll be back with the next video next week, and I hope to hear from you in the comments. So I hope you enjoyed this little update. I hope these updates are good. I mean, I just started doing them. I think this is my third one. So if you have any any feedback for me, let me have that too. I'm open to it. All right. I'll see you.